Hi guys, it's Lindsay and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm really excited to be starting off a series about updating my apartment to be more of an adult apartment instead of like a post-grad first apartment on your own kind of vibe, because I really love my apartment. This is gonna be my 4th year living in it. I lived in it for 3 years alone, and then my boyfriend just moved in with me, and we were looking to move into a new place, really call it our own, and collaborate on a space, but it turned out to be a lot easier said than done. The market in LA is just kind of nuts. We toured about 12 places and we still might move, but it'll be at least 6 months from now or even a year. This is a rent-controlled 1-bedroom, and I've just learned, I was humbled very quickly. So what we are gonna do is refresh this place room by room and really bring some life into it, bring it back into like my current style, because I haven't touched a lot of this furniture since I bought it about 3 years ago when I first moved into this place, and my style has changed a lot, and I also don't live here alone anymore. So I want it to feel elevated and, you know, like a place that really feels like us, not just me. So I thought I would bring you guys along the ideation process, the browsing, and of course, putting it in the space. But the first step is definitely to get the ideas flowing, and I highly recommend watching Paige Wassel on YouTube. She's taught me so much about decorating an apartment and interior design and what's cool, what isn't, what to get rid of, and it is truly eye-opening. I feel like I've learned so much from her, and a lot of this came from her videos and really looking at my space with like fresh eyes about what I needed to change. So highly recommend her. I'll link below some of her videos that have really helped me. When I've done this before, I have a pretty simple 4-step method, so I'm gonna go through it for both my living room and my bedroom because those are the key spaces that I feel really need a revamp. Step 1 is to gather data on Pinterest. Step 2 is to find key similarities between those images. Step 3 is identifying what you like and don't like about your current space now that you've looked at what you want it to look like. And step 4 is to find solutions or items to fill those gaps, in person, online, secondhand, or new, because sometimes you don't need to go out and buy something. You can either paint something you have or restyle it, but sometimes you do need to go out and buy something. So that is kind of my method and what we're gonna do, starting with my living room inspo. Looking at my living room pins, you can definitely see some cohesive themes. I would say all of these places have white walls and real wood floors, which is a good start because that's what we have here. Some mid-century modern pieces, a lot of bookshelves, and really just overall, I'd say like warm colors and kind of like some eclectic factors. Like I feel like I'm always drawn to stripes and pops of color, even though in my space currently I don't have that. I've pinned a lot of red for couches or rugs, pillows, and that's also not something I've ever really played with, but clearly I do really like it. I really loved this color combo of like the light blue and the red. A lot of these images have organic shapes and circles, lanterns, which I already knew that I am attracted to. I have a circular dining table. I have a lamp right there. So it does feel, I'd say, similar to what I have going on, and I just want to get closer. Looking at my current living room, I'll insert some photos once I clean up. I really love my coffee table. I feel like it's gorgeous. It is a vintage replica and it fits the space well. You never ever like trip over it. So I want to keep that. I also really like the lamps that we have. I have a really cool vintage chrome lamp that I feel just brings in that little bit of like modern edge that I'm always attracted to. And then in the living room, I also have 2 of these 3D printed lamps that just offer such nice like warm glow to the room. Yeah, they are 3D printed. For a second I was like, are they 3D printed? But no, they are. I do really like our dining set. I feel like in the next apartment that we move to, I would love to have a long walnut table that I can host a lot of people on, but for the time being, this is definitely the biggest table we can get away with, and so I am going to be leaving that. I also am going to be leaving the couch. It's not my favorite color. I would say that's one of the things I don't like about the living room currently would be the couch, but it is very comfortable, and it was such a pain to get into this apartment through the door and through the hallway, so I unfortunately don't think I can swap it out. Some other things that I want to change in the living room would be the bookshelf styling. It just feels super generic, and I haven't changed anything on it for a long time. It doesn't feel very personal. I want to maybe put some like photos in there and honestly just have less stuff in there, but have them be cooler. That's something that I definitely am learning from Paige. She also said a basket of blankets on the floor is just like super random and outdated, and I agree. I do have that and I never touch it, and I don't really know why I have it. I feel like it is just something that a lot of people do, and I have like space in the cabinet to put the blankets away. I've also realized that I don't love the function of my console table / bar cart. It just collects a lot of dust and isn't the most useful storage. I also don't really drink, so I'm hardly ever using those wine glasses. All of the alcohol on top is like gifted, and so it just kind of like sits there and collects dust, and I feel like it could be something else, but I just don't know what it would be. So I would kind of like to switch that up, but I also don't know if it's like worth investing in. I might just be able to style it differently, but that's something that has kind of bothered me. And also the coffee table matching the credenza. It feels almost too matchy-matchy. I think for the living room in particular, I am going to restyle the bookshelf, and I want to DIY some picture frames with like photos of us, maybe like photo strips. I've just been gathering tons of inspo, and so hopefully I can, give my inspo onto you guys, and then next time you can watch me do it. Instead of getting a new couch or a new rug, I think some really cool bright red pillows would give me that color combo of blue and red that I'm so attracted to without spending a ton on a new couch or a new rug. And it's also relatively low effort. You can change it out if you hate it. So I think that's what I'm gonna search for next. I've thought about painting the Noguchi table base black, and I want to know what you think about that. If that's crazy, I'd make sure to do it very nicely. I could have my dad help me, but I do think maybe having like a touch of black might edge things up a little bit, look kind of cool. I don't know. It's a replica. It's not the real deal, so it wouldn't be like ruining it. I think I'll wait maybe till the red pillows come in and once I restyle the bookshelf to see if that's something I want to go through with, but I'll definitely show you guys the process. And lastly, I have been looking at some console tables if I were to replace it. I think the options are either to do something closed so I can benefit from using that space, or doing something very similar to what I have, but it wouldn't be full of dust and full of glass. It would just kind of purely be a table to hold my keys and sunglasses and kind of be useless, but maybe a little bit chicer. Now to do that all over again, but for my bedroom, this is my sleeping in Pinterest board. I love a good photo of a bed with a crinkly linen duvet. I've been especially attracted to stripes and just like fun color combinations. A lot of warm wood tones, which is great because that's what I have in my current bedroom. And I have noticed I love symmetry. Like once you put your bed in the middle of your room and you have two matching lamps on either side, you're an adult, and this was the first apartment that I did that, and I just feel like I wake up on the right side of the bed every single day. Now that we've looked at some inspo, the things that I currently like in the bedroom are the walnut end tables and the walnut dresser with the built-in mirror. It's so vintage. It's just like very stately. I feel like it kind of of lays the groundwork for the bedroom, and you can play around with color, and like the dark wood I will always like. So those are definitely staying. I also really like my zebra chair. That was such a random vintage find, but it holds whatever clothes I'm not wearing whenever I'm like getting dressed, so have to keep. I also really like the architecture in the room. We have a slanted ceiling and French windows, and I just feel like there's some charm. It has 2 closets that are kind of small, which kind of brings me to what I don't like about the room. Now that Kyle has moved in, we have a bit of a storage issue, and so that space in between those 2 closets needs a dresser. Like, we just need some more storage. I also feel like the room in general just kind of lacks personality. My bed frame is not something I would pick now. It just feels like a little beige and boring, but it was built in the bedroom and it would have to be taken apart to get out. I've also had my bedside table lamps since I was either in middle school or high school. I saw them in a PB Teen catalog and was like, I need these, and I bought them. My parents bought them. I don't know. I've had them for a really long time. I brought them to college, and I like the bubble look, but they do look a little juvenile because they are from PB Teen. So I think it's time to say goodbye to my cutie lamps. Step 4 for my bedroom will be to get a brighter duvet. There are so many brands out there. The one that I currently have is from West Elm, and it's like their natural flax linen. So I'm kind of tempted to just get a brighter color in this one because I know how well it lasts and how much I like it. I think mine's like 5 years old and it's so soft. But I also really like Brooklinen. I have all their cotton sheets, so I was like, maybe we'll do like a cotton duvet, try out something different instead of linen. I also found this double-sided one from the brand I Love Linen, but they're based in Australia, so getting it shipped here was astronomical. But I love the idea of something that you could just flip-flop when you're bored instead of having to have 2 duvets and like store one, because duvets are kind of hard to store, so I really only have 2 in my possession at a time, and right now I have either that boring oatmeal colored one or dark green, so I think I want something brighter and fun. I also want some different lamps. I feel like I've gravitated towards either this silhouette or this one. I've looked at a bunch online. I can link them below. Lamps are just expensive. Like, why are lamps $100 each? I don't know, but to be fair, I got a lot of use out of my last lamps. They're so old, so that's definitely the goal when it comes to picking something like a lamp, investing in something that's gonna last a long time and isn't just like an Amazon dupe, you know what I mean? A storage solution of some kind for this room. I feel like if we had a bed with underbed storage, that would be amazing, but I think that just might have to be our next place, and we'll just have to get something that like works in the meantime. Maybe something like sleek and plain that I could like eventually put in my office. And lastly, update the wall art. I think just like reframing some older pieces and maybe some of the art that he brought in. He has like some old cool posters that he's never had a chance to hang up anywhere. So I think like, yeah, just finding a way to make this space feel more personal and like a collaborative effort would be great, because I feel like my bedroom was the one place that felt unfinished even before he moved in. Like, it just never really was my favorite space because I both live and work mostly in the living room and like exclusively sleep in the bedroom. Like, I never work in there. In other apartments I used to, so it's kind of just like my safe haven, and I want it to be somewhere that also sparks joy and inspiration. That is it for my kind of like deep dive into how I think about interiors, what I'm drawn to, as well as like cool products and brands out there. I will be sure to link anything below that I can, and stay tuned for next time when I start buying stuff and changing the way that it looks in here. I think it'll be so much fun to really document, because I didn't really last time when I was just like filling this place with furniture. Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. Whether you're just starting out or currently managing a growing business, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform that makes it easy for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. They have thousands of flexible website templates that allow you to customize your look, update content, and add features to fit your unique needs at any time. I've been using Squarespace for years to host my website, lindseyrem.com, which I use as a landing page so when people or brands look me up, they can immediately get a sense of who I am as a content creator and what kind of work I do. I love that my Instagram feed and YouTube videos are able to live directly in my website, and I was able to customize every detail down to the colors, fonts, and photos. The reimagined drag and drop technology makes the editing process really fun, and they just added in AI, so if you're not a writer and you need some help getting the ball rolling when writing a blurb or product descriptions, it can be really helpful. If you're interested, go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the code lindseyrem at checkout to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.